Hello. It's been a while. I actually don't know how many people are going to watch me play Hearthstone at this point because it's been a month. I'm excited. I'm excited to play again.
12 seconds later.
I've gotten to 13 HP on turn 5. I wonder if that's going to be enough.
Ready to check in?
Okay. What exactly are they doing with this? Okay. All right. Sure. Sure. They get that sure. And they look everything. Wait, what I'm going to do? Freeze it. It's friendly. So this is not frozen. It is not frozen. But let's see what I can instead.
One minute later.
Ready to check in?
Let's go, dude. Super fun, fair, and balanced. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back. Have fun OTKing me turn 7 with no skill.
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are 1 day away from the launch of Perils in Stormwind, as I've so eloquently photoshopped for this thumbnail. There's been a lot of concerns after the latest theory crafting stream where, if you saw the intro, some pretty scary stuff that literally led to one of the more prolific YouTube Hearthstone content creators in Igor literally quitting to go on a channel that, again, I think he's more just excited about his League of Legends channel, which is doing great. But I want to talk about the concerns I have with the next expansion coming up and why I don't actually think it's going to be another United Stormwind. Maybe it will feel that way early, but I don't think it's going to be quite like that. And today is the last day to enter a giveaway for our 2 rewards track giveaway out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like and comment in the video, link to the description below, the one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel, and yeah, tomorrow we will announce the winners. If we hit the next 1,000, we're a few hundred away. By tomorrow, I will add another rewards track, so tell your family, tell your pets, tell everybody to hit that sub button and make me go Baroque. So yeah, I was noted Ecor basically put out his thank you to Hearthstone, 10 years of content creation. It wasn't just because of the clips at the beginning of the video, but it certainly did help, right? But he has a really good League of Legends channel going, and it's just the way the game has moved, right? We're seeing more and more towards these fast-paced blowout combos and OTKs, and it's some people that played Hearthstone in the old days, incremental board battles and value and control was a big thing for us, and it's not really at the forefront right now. Like, if you look at the Perils in Paradise set itself, and it's pretty similar to the last one we saw, almost no expensive cards. Like, the expensive cards can be mana cheat cards, right? Refresh your mana, play this for 1, or, they make a bad card for Druid, so you get tricked into thinking Druid's getting bad stuff. But even Warrior, all the big stuff, you're trying to, cheat out with your Rye Cleaver, and that looks too slow. In every other class, it's like 6 mana or less for almost every card. And again, like the most expensive card in Priest, what does it do? It cheats some mana. Hunter, same deal. Shaman, I think 7 mana, but it's like a big blowout type of card. That's the trend, at least this set in particular. Very few expensive cards. This is definitely tailored to a more tempo scam style thing where Sea Shanty, again, we get a 10-mana spell. It could cost 0. As you see with my opponent here, in theory crafting, I think play this on turns 4 or 5. You'll see the clip, and you'll see a card we'll talk about that is the focal point of a lot of this, a lot of my concerns with the upcoming expansion. Yeah, it's really hard to find any late game stuff. And again, like Tsunami, the idea is I play it early where I can cheat it out with my King Tide, my Under the Sea, or I just play Druid and cheat it out and all of that. And even the neutrals, I think the latest game card is 10 mana as well. Guess what? It's a giant you can cheat out. And again, this is a real focal point. There's a Screen Rant interview with the game director of Hearthstone that we rarely ever get to hear from, Tyler Beelman. And he says something, at least to me, that's a little bit startling. And again, makes sense of the direction of Hearthstone the last few years, where he says Hearthstone's gameplay has quite a bit of board churn. The board, turn over turn, is very different as opposed to a lot of other card games, where it's a steady state of building and building sort of people edging out. It's part of what makes Hearthstone exciting, a sort of explosive reset that gives you a different puzzle on every turn, which to me isn't really the core of Hearthstone. I don't know. I remember like the incremental board decks of mid-range decks, Jade decks, Pirate decks even back in the day, N'Zoth decks, Demon decks, they all incrementally build up and like they'd have their big, big refill, I guess, like Gul'dan for 10 mana, N'Zoth for 10 mana, stuff like this. And now, as he stated, you kind of want an explosive turn every turn. And how do you accomplish that? Well, we were taking a look. All these cards can be like absolute crazy tempo bombs, mana cheat bombs. And it's created this design where, yeah, you could get blowed out and OTK'd on turn 5 or 6 or blowed out and scammed by a giant stat bomb. And the card to me that's the biggest offender, at least early on. Again, these cards aren't even out yet, so hopefully I'm wrong. I'm not calling for nerfs. I'm putting my concerns out there in concierge. If you look at concierge, I think I tweeted out, it's very similar to a sorcerer's apprentice. By the way, I rated this a 2. I forgot about the tourist mechanic. Top comment there, calling me out. Good job on that. But yeah, with like 1 mana potions, this card basically becomes free mana. And almost every broken combo that I saw in theory crafting came down to concierge. There's like the Arana stuff, there's the Lynessa stuff. That also concerns me because, again, OTK things, but at least they're 5 mana. They're legendary cards. They're restricted to 1 class. This is a neutral, possible Sorcerer's Apprentice that is enabling all this crazy stuff. The good thing and the reassuring thing is, if this is what the main thing that's enabling like really early OTKs and it's a real problem early on, it's a pretty easy card to nerf. It's a neutral common. It should not be meta defining. It should not be enabling OTKs. Neutral cards are not supposed to do that. That's not what they're there for. And I would imagine if it is a problem, it's pretty simple. I know they're really allergic to doing this, but not less than 1 would allow you to play this as like a tempo card, get some mana cheat, but not infinite 0 mana cheat, which has always been the problem with like Radiant Elemental, Sorcerer's Apprentice. So that's one of my things with this set. A lot of the fear from theory crafting came from a card like Concierge, where it's just really spooky to see those combos, which are Stormwind-ish, right? Stormwind was way more problematic, where you have the quest lines, and the quest lines were fundamentally just such a different broken thing. You take a look at the final showdown, although ironically with this one, you barely even played a reward, which made your cards cost less, but basically what this was, it'd be like having the concierge in your opening hand every single game, and then you get to that point where you unlock that reward, and you can do whatever OTK it enables. So like Showdown had like infinite mana cheats, mostly on the procs and the quest line, but it enabled OTKs with like Il'gynoth or any other damage. In WoW, this one was more prevalent with Guff, where you got your Guff win con and repeat Guff, and basically you can even OTK with that, but incrementally win. Same with Defend the Dwarven District. Getting that 0 mana repeatable hero power became close to an OTK machine, or just, over 2 turns, you were dead. Sorcerer's Gambit, again, it started your opening hand, you gained +3 spell damage, and then you would either OTK or completely blow out your opponent over 2 turns. The Paladin quest didn't do anything like that, so it was unplayable. The Priest was the actual straight up OTK one, where you got the Purified Shard and killed your opponent. Ironically, the most balanced of them, because you had to play so many cards to get there, whereas the other quest lines you just completed by like turn 5, killed your opponent. This you actually had to work for, so it didn't see a ton of play. The Rogue one saw a little bit of play. Even this one was almost like an OTK thing, where you got like Scabs and then gave it stealth and then Wind Fury and killed your opponent, right? Again, these were all things that started in your opening hand. There was no way to interact with it, and there was like maybe Mutinous, I think. I don't even think Dirty Rat was available in Standard, so it's not like you could rat the reward, and if you're facing somebody good, they would not get the reward until they could play it anyways. Command the Elements would give you just double spells, which you could then follow up by basically OTKing your opponent, or likely kill them in 2 turns. And well, we all know with the Demon Seed, this thing is still wreaking havoc in Wild. it deals 30 or to yourself, and it used to deal like a third of that. Such a problematic card. Again, that's in your opening hand. Again, it basically OTKs, and Raid the Docks got nerfed multiple times. This one didn't OTK, but it gave infinite damage, infinite value that you just eventually got overrun by. So if you take a look at that and then people comparing it to Stormwind, there's not a good comparison, right? You have a couple of cards that look scary. You have the Concierge, you have Lanessa, you have Arana, you have the overtuned, whole Druid stuff going on. And that's not even to mention, which I tweeted out, the best two cards is the Ziliax thing. Like, there's so many ways to bring this back. This is the other flip side of it. You got the OTK scams on one side, and you got Ziliax on the other, where you're never gonna be able to kill your opponent after a certain point because of this. So this is another card we might have to look at and be like, yeah, this might have to get addressed too. So there are some problems looking forward, but I do want to highlight the fact this set looks really cool, despite, my complaints that there's like not a lot of late game and, there's not a lot of value stuff. There's a lot of cool mechanics. It's like a deck builder's paradise, right? To be able to put these tourist cards in, do all sorts of different stuff. I think there's a good shot that all the stuff I'm talking about today might not even be a problem, because people will find so many other things that you just can't possibly find until you start it. I have gotten more and more excited for this set as we've gone along. I just do hope, if the early meta is dominated by these OTKs and mana cheat scams that look really terrifying, that the team will adjust it. They said they'll do their first balance patch after 2 weeks. Hopefully there's no need for day one emergency nerfs. I don't think anybody likes that. I think people want to try stuff out. I just hope it doesn't lean towards, I can't even get to turn 5 or 6. I can't even play the game. I can't even play my new cards. That's what I'm the most worried about. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But yes, is this expansion going to be the next United in Stormwind? I don't think so, but there's certainly some elements that are sticking out that are a little bit spooky. So tune in tomorrow. We'll be announcing our giveaway winners. We'll have day one decks to try out. Hopefully they'll be playable and you don't blow up immediately. So we'll go over all of that, and let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited? Are you dreading things? Or do you just want to see madness? Who cares? Let's have a new Stormwind for a bit and see what happens. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.